With just 2 races left in the 2016 Verizon IndyCar season, the battle for the championship has become a 2-horse race. But a costly accident has given one of those contenders a little breathing room headed to Sonoma. I'm Nick Yeoman from INDYCAR Radio with highlights from Watkins Glen as the IndyCars roared to life for the first time since 2010. 3-time Watkins Glen winner Scott Dixon would lead the 22-car field to the green, but immediately it was points leader Simon Pagenaud who would make a move from 7. Pagenaud would pass 4 cars to move into 3rd, but a big cloud of smoke would be kicked up mid-pack. Both Juan Montoya and Sebastian Bourdais would get caught up in the accident and fall to the back of the pack. The race, however, would stay green. The pit window would open up at lap 9, and leader Scott Dixon, as well as most of the drivers at the rear of the field, would race to pit road for service. Moments later, Mikhail Aleshin would crash exiting the S's, bringing out the event's first full-course caution. The Russian's race was over, finishing 22nd. Under that caution, the rest of the frontrunners would get a chance to pit, but championship counterparts Will Power and Simon Pagenaud would be forced to restart 13th and 14th. On lap 19, a battle between 2 American talents would spill over when Charlie Kimball would race to the outside of Graham Rahal in turn number 1. When the 2 exited the corner, they'd touch wheels, sending last week's winner at Texas flying into the tire barriers. Rahal was okay after the accident, but described that hit as the hardest he's experienced in his career. Under that same caution, Tony Kanaan would be forced to limp his Chevrolet to pit lane with suspension issues. After his crew repaired a broken right rear toe link, Kanaan would be able to rejoin the race. Despite the early race domination by Scott Dixon, some of the battling throughout the field was wild. One instance even saw Sebastian Bourdais climbing up and over the inner loop curbing, sending his Hydroxycut Chevrolet on a wild ride. The moment of the race would happen with 22 laps to go. With both Simon Pagenaud and Will Power attempting to climb their way back to the front of the field, Charlie Kimball would get a massive run through the S's and attempt to pass the Aussie Power. The 2 would collide, slamming Power's Verizon Chevrolet into the backstretch wall, ending his day and opening the door for Pagenaud to extend his points lead. Power would be checked and cleared from the infield care center, but not cleared to drive due to concussion-like symptoms. Stay tuned to INDYCAR.com for updates on the 2014 Series champ. A handful of drivers would try alternate strategies, stretching fuel and grabbing track position in hopes to beat the Iceman, but nothing seemed to stop Scott Dixon in the race's final stanza. Dixon would open up a 16.5-second lead and cruise to his 40th career victory as other race contenders would run out of fuel in the final laps. Joseph Newgarden would fight his way to 2nd, Helio Castroneves would finish 3rd. Points leader Simon Pagenaud would grab the 7th position and extend his points lead to 43 markers over Will Power. On September 18th, the Verizon IndyCar Series travels to Sonoma, California for the final race of the 2016 season, where a champion will be crowned. Let the countdown begin.